Hey everybody, Jeremy Reid here, and today we're going to talk about kind of an unpleasant topic. Being in the health and fitness industry and having a background that is as severe as mine was with obesity and addictions, I do draw a crowd of clients that are battling with similar things, and that's great, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is to help people through the same thing that I went through. However, in many scenarios, it's a real struggle for these people who are dealing with addictions, who are dealing with eating disorders, alcoholism, drugs, all sorts of things, and these things are definitely roadblocks in our life, and they need to be dealt with, and it's just challenging. It's really challenging. I recently had a client come to me and tell me that that he was dealing with a major alcohol addiction. This was without a doubt something that was standing in his way. It had been there for 20 years. I had no idea. I did suspect that. Was wondering why the results weren't there that I was expecting from us working with each other for as long as we did. But I'm really glad that he opened up to me and told me about his problem. And through talking with this, one of the things I told him, and it sparked me wanting to make this video, because this is the same thing, and this is like legit stuff that I say to clients all the time, no matter what the addiction is. Anytime you are dealing with something like this, there's usually a general purpose for it, right? You're turning to alcohol, you're turning to sex, you're turning to drugs, you're turning to food to cope with emotions. Whether that's celebrating positive emotions or coping with negative emotions, a lot of times we're using these things to trigger the pleasure centers in our brain and make us feel good, but it's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid, and it doesn't really work. And so when we're trying to combat these addictions, it's important that we go into it with a game plan, right? Let's take alcohol. You're going to cut all alcohol out of your life. You're going to conquer this. Well, you're still going to have bad days. You're still going to have good days. You're still going to get promotions. You're going to get bad news. You're going to get in a fight with your spouse. You're going to, well, all these things that were causing you to drink are still going to be there. Still going to be there coming up in your life. And so where are you going to turn? What are you going to use to cope with those emotions once alcohol is no longer there? Once your go-to method is no longer there, what are you going to turn to? And that's what we need to take the time to analyze and plan out ahead of time, so that we have a game plan for when these things come up. Because what a lot of people do, and I've seen it before in previous clients, is a lot of people will then turn to another bad habit. They're trading one bad habit for another. A prime example of this is another client of mine who had an addiction to alcohol. Cut all alcohol out of his life, but what happened every time there was something to celebrate? What happened every time there was a negative situation that came into his life? What happened to these emotions? He turned to food. He was literally just exchanging one bad habit with another. And so when alcohol wasn't available anymore, it was food, and lots of it, and not the healthy kind. And so it doesn't take long to see how these behaviors can easily catch up with us and easily then be another thing that we have to deal with, and that's never ever the plan. So if we go into it with a game plan, again, you'll see a common theme amongst a lot of my videos: plan, plan, plan. If we go into this with a game plan of saying, okay, look, I need to gain control over this in my life, whether it's sex, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's any other obsession or addiction or something that is unhealthy in your life, mentally or physically. When we go into something and say, okay, I'm going to gain control over this in my life, we have to understand that the triggers in your life are still going to be there. The common triggers being something to celebrate or some sort of negative emotion, stress. These things are common triggers when it comes to addiction. And so these triggers are still going to be there. We can't remove all stress from our life. We can't lock ourselves in a hole and never experience life. It's stressful. Life is stressful. Life is stressful for everybody. And there's also joys in life that everyone is going to experience. And the common thing is, let's celebrate. And we all celebrate in our own different ways. But if you have an addiction, a major addiction, a lot of times we celebrate with that addiction. And so we have to go into these situations with a backup plan. What am I going to do besides drink? Or what am I going to do besides eat insane portions of junk food? What is something that's healthy that will still trigger that pleasure, that sense of purpose, that sense of awesomeness inside of us, that will still give us this great ability to celebrate the good times or cope with the bad times or deal with the stress, but in a healthy fashion, both mentally and physically. Now I'll tell you, fitness, being active, is a fantastic stress reducer. It's a fantastic way for us to get, or if we choose to get the negative emotions, the negative feelings, the negativity inside of us out in a physical way, through power, through force, through accomplishment. And so, not saying that has to be everyone's fix, but it is a great one, and it certainly was mine. It really, really helped as I was dealing with issues with alcohol, with tobacco, with eating, binge eating, closet eating. I mean, I had it all. You name it, I've been there. So, fitness happened to be one of my things, but I've got multiples. I got multiple things, my go-tos, that are healthy, but still give me a sense of celebration or joy, contentment. And this is really the key, because when we've had a stressful day at work, some people's first reaction is to go home and pour a drink. When we've had a stressful day at work, other people's is to go out and eat a whole large pizza, or come home and grill a 22-ounce steak with fries and whatever. And we can't do that every time we feel a little bit of stress. We can't give in every time there's something to be celebrated, or just because it's Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. We can't give in to these things. They are unhealthy for us and likely will be the death of us. And so we have to gain control. We have to know that it's time to change and that we need to change. But we can't just say, okay, I'm going to change. We have to go in it with a game plan. And so on top of changing the actual addiction or that behavior in itself, we also need to be conscious of the fact that it's very, very easy for people to trade one bad habit with another. So we need to determine what these alternative methods are going to be in our lives that are going to be sustainable and continue to get us to our goals in a healthy fashion rather than in an unhealthy fashion. So anyway, told you it wasn't going to be the most positive video ever. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Setting goals for ourselves, staying positive, believing in ourselves, and believing in the fact that you are worth the effort. That's like half the battle right there. The rest is just follow through. So plan ahead. I know you can do it. Whatever challenge, whatever goal, whatever is in front of you, whether it's fitness, fitness or nutrition related, whether it's career related, whether it's relationship related, whether it's combating an addiction, whatever it is, please know that I believe in you, because I have done these changes in myself, and there's nothing special about me. The only thing that I got going for me is the fact that I believe in myself, and I will outwork anyone out there. That's it. But all of that could be yours too. So set your goals high, dream big, and go after it and stop at nothing. All right? Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com, Jeremy Reid Fitness. Actually, it's Jeremy Reid Fitness on everything. Instagram, Jeremy Reid Fitness. YouTube, Jeremy Reid Fitness. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. I want to hear from you. Comment, share, all that stuff. Let's get it going. All right? Peace.